Ladies and gentlemen, the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Oh, thank you, Lee. It's easy. Isn't he great? That's such a great opening. Well, we love you too. We got a lot of people here. We got a lot of great people here. Thank you very much, and thank you for allowing me to win this state by so much. It was, I wouldn't say the competition was the toughest, but it was competition nevertheless. And we appreciate it very much. And we're going to be talking about no tax on tips. We're also talking about the fact that everybody is looking at their tax return. They're getting tremendous amounts of money back, much more than they thought. But it's great to be back in a place I love, Las Vegas. Did a lot of business here. We had great success here. Before politics, it was fantastic. And this is the birthplace of a little idea known as no tax on tips. This is the birthplace. A young waitress came up to me during dinner and she said, "Sir, we should have no tax on tips." I said, "What?" Say it again. "We should have no tax on tips." I said, "That's the greatest thing I've ever heard." I walked outside to the fake news media. I say, "Ladies and gentlemen, there will be no tax on tips." That was it. It was not an expensive consultant. Las Vegas is the home of the largest concentration of tipped workers anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, actually. And thanks to our tax cuts this week, thousands of Nevada waiters, waitresses, casino dealers, bartenders, bellmen, barbers, caddies. So I love those caddies. They're very good if you have the right caddy. And valets receive the biggest tax refunds of their entire lives, and you see it. And I just want to say you're welcome. You're welcome. No, it's all over. There's so many, even in the fake news, where they have these different. You always want to watch the enemy a little bit. You don't want to watch too much. You want to find out where they're coming from, and they come from dark places. But even there, people are saying, "Wow, this is really amazing." It's a great, big, beautiful bill. It came in, and we should call it the Great, Big, Beautiful Tax Cut Bill, because that's really what it is. Other things also, but regulations. But it's really the tax cuts are enormous. So It's just such an honor. I want to thank Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent for joining us. Scott, you know, he's become a big star. He walks down the street and the people are screaming, "Scott, Scott, can we have your autograph?" I mean, what I did, I created a monster. He's a monster now. That's terrible, but he's doing a great job. Along with Senator, oh, look at Tommy. Where's Tommy Tuberville? Where's Tommy Tuberville? Tommy, the great Tommy Tuberville, Senator from Alabama. Thank you, Tommy. Nevada Lieutenant Governor Stavros Anthony. Thank you, Stavros. Clark County Commissioner April Becker. April. Thank you, April. Thank you very much. State Senator Carrie Buck. Thank you. Thank you, Carrie. Assemblywoman Lisa Cole. Lisa, thank you. We have a lot of power here today, huh? This is big stuff. And many others. We have a lot of people out there. I better not name them all because, you know, we're in all these. Look at all the television back there. Isn't that terrible? So much. Last summer, thanks to our Republican majorities in the House and Senate, I signed the great big beautiful bill, the largest tax cuts and many other things for working families in the history of our country. It was actually, we added about 19 different bills. We were going to do one at a time or maybe two or three, but I said, let's just do them all at one time. And thank goodness we did because the Republicans are out there fighting hard for a lot of good things like no men and women's sports, like no open borders. You know, we have the safest border we've ever had. We have the safest communities. We have the best records. One thing that's always tough to say because it sounds sort of weird, but we have the least number of murders that we've had in 125 years, all the way back to 1900. Doesn't sound nice, you know. There's no nice way of saying that, but it's back to 1900. But every single American at every income level has more money in their pockets this week because of the Republican tax policies. And we got to win the midterms. If we don't, these policies are going to be taken away from you. The taxes are going to go through the roof. Look at these. Look at the states, these blue states, what is going on there with taxes. Look at what happened in Virginia. A person, we had a good governor there, and somebody got elected that she's gone crazy. She's gone totally crazy. Look at New York. I mean, he's a nice guy. Calls me all the time, says hi. But his policies are no good. He's chasing people out and causing a lot of harm to everybody. I mean, everybody's taxes are going through the roof. After 4 long years of brutal inflation under Biden and congressional Democrats, you deserve every single penny that you're getting now because you had to suffer. You suffered. We had the highest inflation in the history of our country under Biden. Sleepy Joe. He is the worst president we've ever had by far. Average refund. The average refund this season's over $4,000. And here in Las Vegas, many workers have reported refunds of $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 or more, and they've never had anything. It's all from no tax on tips alone. So, and then don't forget, you have no tax on Social Security for our seniors. A lot of seniors out there. And you have no tax on overtime. You know, this state covers them all. You have the seniors, you have the overtime, but you have no tax on overtime. You have no tax on tips, and you have no tax, think of it, Social Security. So those three things. And, you know, one other thing that we have that nobody talks about, but we've done a lot in the bill. If you have a small business or if you have a farm, you have no inheritance tax. You have no death tax. It's a big thing. You know, people go out and they would borrow money, especially the farmers. I mean, they go out and they leave their farm, and the farm is valuable, but not a lot of cash. They live good. They wouldn't trade anytime. And they go out and they get a bill for taxes for the farm. The parents leave the farm to the children. The children go to the bank. They borrow a lot of money. They mortgage up the farm, and they end up losing the farm. They go bankrupt. They commit suicide in many. It's a horrible thing that went on. You have no death taxes now. You have no inheritance taxes. And seeing his take-home pay skyrocket, a bellman at the nearby Paris Hotel reportedly said words that no one has ever uttered before. God bless the IRS. Can you believe it? I've never heard that before. We have to patent that. We have to do something. Earlier this week at the White House, I met a wonderful woman named Sharon Simmons, a grandmother driving DoorDash to help support her husband's cancer treatment. She's got serious cancer. She's going to be okay, I think. Sharon delivered McDonald's to the Oval Office. It was a little bit of a, to be honest, it was a little tacky. They come up with these crazy ideas like McDonald's, although that was the biggest ever on Google. They say #1 ever. And the garbage truck. I mean, we do these things in politics. They're a little embarrassing. They're a little tiny embarrassing, but we do them, and you win by landslides. It's one of the. So we got to keep doing them. No, we got to knock on the Oval Office door. This did not happen. That's the first maybe in the history of the Oval Office. And it was a very beautiful woman standing there with 2 big bags of McDonald's hamburgers. And I say, is this really believable? But the point of it was she made $11,000 that she had no idea was coming. And it was really great. It turned out to be really great. So as part of our tax cuts, we also included no tax on overtime. And, one of the things, though, that I think is so great, we have something that's never happened before. It was an idea that I thought up. I went to Scott. I went to some of our people. So when rich people do something, they always look for deductions, right? Oh, it's always deductions. They have deductions and everything. And middle class and middle income people, poorer people, they don't think in terms of deductions. So I said, you buy a car that's American made, give a deduction on the interest you pay on the loan that you used to buy the car. And everyone said, oh, that's good. It sounds simple, but it's never been done before. And you have that too. So when you go out and you take a loan on your car, you deduct the interest. It's a big deal for people. Never happened before. You would think it was sort of basic. I thought it was so brilliant when I thought it. But the truth is, it never happened before. And nobody mentions it, but it's a very big factor. And it's having a huge impact on our car companies, which are expanding like never before. We're selling more cars now. A lot of it has to do with tariffs. You pay no tariffs if you come here. If you don't come here, you pay a lot of tariffs. And we're raising those tariffs very soon. Not on you. It's on people from the outside that don't build their plants here. We have now hundreds of billions. We have actually $18 trillion being invested in the United States because of a lot of reasons, but because of tariffs. Because of tariffs. If they sell their product into our country, they have to pay tariffs. If they make that same product here, they don't. So they're coming in. I'll tell you, pharmaceutical companies are coming in at levels that nobody's ever seen. We're having our drugs made here, our prescription drugs are being made here, which is something that's very important. So our tax cut for overtime workers have already been claimed by more than 26 million Americans, and America's finally had the president, the kind of president who believes in them. I believe in rewarding you for the great work you've done, the great job you've done, and for having to suffer for 4 years of embarrassment. Our country was an embarrassment. A year ago, our country was an embarrassment. And all over the world, they laughed at us. And they don't laugh anymore. They are not laughing. They're not laughing anymore. I don't think anybody, just ask those. I don't want to be a wise guy. I don't want to speak too soon. But we do very well. You notice that we're doing very well. And I will say the war in Iran is going along swimmingly. We can do whatever we want. And it should be ending pretty soon. It was perfect. I mean, it's perfect. It was the power we have, our military. We have the most powerful military anywhere in the world. I built it 4 years, my first 4 years. And we're still building it. We're building it. We have the best military. We have the best equipment in the world, the best rockets and anti-rockets. If you look at the way we shoot, we had 111 rockets shot at one of our ships. I won't name the ship, but it was a beauty. And out of the 111 rockets shot, all 111 rockets, and these things move at about 3,000 miles an hour. It's not like, oh, gee, we have plenty of time to think about it. Every single one of them, 111, were all shot down. Think of that. Shot down. They're laying at the bottom of the sea. So needless to say, it was a ship that they were shooting at. But we've had it. We had 101. We had 101, and then 2 days later we had 111. Every one of them was hit. That's the equipment that we have is incredible. There's never been anything like it. So in addition to no tax on Social Security, over 51 million seniors now pay. Seniors are loving me, and I love them. Of course, I'm not a senior, so I cater to the seniors, but I don't happen to be a senior myself. Thank you very much. Over 51 million seniors now pay zero federal tax on Social Security income. 51 million. And they never saw that happening. And when I went to him and I said, how much would it cost for about 50 to 60 million seniors not to pay tax? He said, sir, are you kidding? This was Scott. I said, let's do it. Go ahead. And you know what's happened? The economy is doing so well. By the way, we had to do a little journey down to Iran. And I didn't want to do that, but we had to because we can't let them have a nuclear weapon. Can't let them have a nuclear weapon. And, we just hit 50,000 on the Dow. I don't know if you people know what that means. 50,000 on the Dow is unthinkable. They said at the end of his fourth year, maybe, but more likely fifth or sixth year. My fifth or sixth year, that sounds good too. But remember, the hat says 4 more years? It drives the Democrats crazy. It drives them 4 more years, 4 more years. I have to laugh at that one. They go crazy. What a bunch of lunatics they are. We want to get along and we're bipartisan, but after a while you say these people that just, they don't want to pay our ICE agents. They don't want to pay our security people. They don't want to take care of our border. They want to have open borders for everybody. They want to have men playing in women's sports. Think of it, men playing in women's sports. It's got to be a 95-5. Maybe it's a 99-1 issue. And I saw a guy today on television, a Democrat that I know. He's trying to justify men playing in women's sports. He's trying to justify open borders. No, we can't let them back in. They'll destroy the country. They'll destroy our country. But millions of retirees like those here in Nevada. And it's a very important word, Nevada. Don't ever say the other way. I'm not going to say it because they'll say it. I won't say it the other way because they'll put it, he said, you lose the whole state. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds pretty good the other way, to be honest with you. Some people. But Nevada is beautiful. And seeing an average deduction over $7,500 this year, which is incredible. The great big beautiful bill is filled with tax cuts Americans are only just beginning to discover. So the tax cuts turned out to be larger than anybody thought, even us. I mean, we didn't think it was going to be as much, but people are getting much more. It's come from that. And the Democrats don't know what to do because they used to ridicule it, the great big beautiful bill. And now they're saying, don't mention the words. Just don't talk about it because it's been great. But we got to keep it. We have to win the midterms. We virtually eliminated the so-called so many taxes. We have like 19 different taxes in all different forms that we eliminated. And we dramatically expanded a thing called school choice, which is a big deal, We made homeschool expenditures, the homeschoolers. Do we have any homeschoolers here? Right? Very good. Congratulations. Homeschool expenditures tax deductible. We created the brand new Trump accounts with Michael and Susan Dell. The Dell family. They're great. What a great family. But he put up $6.25 billion. Namely, he did a good job in life. He's putting up more. He came to me with the idea with some of his friends. His wife is fantastic, by the way. And he said, these accounts where children will grow up, and by the time they're 18 or 20 or 21, they could have $100,000. I mean, they may be poor, and they'll have $100,000. What a big difference. So I just want to thank the Dell family. It's great. Buy their computer. I said, how did you get so rich by doing computers? He said, well, in college, I was good at computers. I'd just sit on my bed, I'd make computers, and people would buy them, and he never stopped. Sort of an amazing story if you want to know the truth. But we have a $1,000 contribution for every newborn child. Think of that. 5 million have already been opened. It's been incredible. People are going out there doing it. Some are buying it from many other children. Some are taking some richer people are taking lots of people under their wing. We have one man that took the state of Ohio, and he's obviously pretty rich, and he's made the contribution on behalf of so many children. It's really turned out to be amazing, actually. And we made interest on new car loans deductible, which I told you is a big deal. I think it's really something, but only if it's made here, and that's only if it's made in America, and we're proud to see it being made in America. You know, we used to have, when I was growing up, it would say, everything made in America. It meant it was better. And then over the years, it disappeared. We brought it back, and we make great products now. Today, when you see made in America, you know, it's, generally speaking, I think it's a better product. This tax season, over 1 million Americans already deducted their auto loans and their auto interest. Think of that. And they're saving a write-off. They're having a write-off of over $2,000, sometimes much more. And you get a full write-off. It's pretty amazing. Together, these brand new cuts and deductions in the Republican bill have been claimed by nearly half of all tax filers. So in one form or another, more than 50% have taken advantage of the things that we put into the bill. By the way, we have a lot of other things other than that. We have incentives. We have the expensing for businesses, and the expensing is such a big deal. You have a business, you're allowed to deduct it immediately as opposed to over 38 years and other things. And to me, that's one. We had the best economy in the history of our country in my first term, and we're blowing it out now. We're blowing it away now. And despite our little diversion to the lovely country of Iran, lovely place, but we had to do that because otherwise bad things could happen, really bad things. So we've sent out, and I think you're going to see some incredible results, you know, for those people that question it. You're going to see some, the job we've done has been amazing. The ships are out there today, and they're saying, don't come here, don't even think about it. And you have these massive tankers saying, let's get the hell out of here. It's amazing. It's amazing. But we've sent out $30 billion more in refunds than at the same time last year. And employers who adjust their withholding levels now will see an immediate surge in their take-home pay for the remainder of 2026. You're going to see a big surge. The numbers are really tremendous, and that's why I'm out here. If they were bad, I wouldn't be here today. I'd be sitting home watching television, I think. We can never forget that every single radical left Democrat in Congress voted to deny the American people these life-saving changes. They voted for tax increases. They wanted your taxes to go up. I've never seen it before. You know, all my life, I've been sort of always interested in politics. Never did it before. I decided to do it a little while ago, not too long. But I've never seen it before. It always was, I'd watch politicians for 30 years, 40 years. We will lower your taxes. We will lower your taxes. These are the only people, the Democrats now, the modern day Democrats. We will raise your taxes. And I just don't think it's winnable. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little old fashioned, I guess. But they voted for the largest tax hike in history. The Democrats just voted for the largest tax hike in history. Democrats in Congress caused this, you know, the inflation. The fake news gets on me. You know, I have to be very accurate when I speak because they'll say, he's exaggerated. So the real number is 48 years. That inflation's the highest in 48 years. I don't believe that. I think it's the highest in history. But they say, he said history, and they say, but I'm okay with 48 years. 48 years is long enough. What do you think? But the real number they say is 48 years. I believe it's the highest inflation, and they caused it. And they then wanted to raise your tax. So their tax raise that they wanted was more than $5 trillion, which to each person is probably about $4,000 or $5,000. And they wanted to raise your taxes. The great big beautiful bill also slashed taxes on millions of American small businesses, including restaurants, dry cleaners, corner stores. What is a corner store? I've never heard that term. I know what a corner store is, but I've never heard it described, a corner store. Who the hell wrote that, please? And more. As of today, over 12 million small business flyers have paid nearly $7,000 less in taxes. So on average, your small businesses are paid about $7,000 less. That's a lot for a small business. In large part, thanks to our cuts today, the economy is booming. Our economy is booming. You know, you don't read about it. You don't see it so much because of what's going on in Iran, which is really, you know, it's been 2 months. I mean, 2 months. You've been in other wars for 18 years, 4 years with me. I'm in there for a month. Well, he said he'd get out a month. Did you see where I did a list last week? 17 years in Vietnam and 5 years in Afghanistan and more, much more than that, and all these different places. And I said, we were in there for 2 months. And you know what? We're going to have victory very shortly. This is not... And against a very tough, smart country. These people were fighters. And, you know, I don't want to claim it before the fact, but they have no Navy left. 158 ships at the bottom of the sea. 158, think of it. 158. I got angry. I said, why didn't you save them? We could have used them, you know. They would rather shoot them than save them. I said, what the hell? It's only money. But some of them were good. They had one named the Soleimani. You know what the Soleimani? We took him out. He was the worst, one of the worst terrorists in the history of this country, this world. They killed many of our people. Many of our people have been killed. When you see a young soldier mostly going around without legs, without arms, with their faces so badly injured, it was Soleimani that did that. The roadside bombs, they were just terrible. He was the father of the roadside bomb. We killed him. And that had a big impact on Iran. That had a big impact on Iran. Because he was, I think it maybe would be a different story if he were around. I mean, he was a horrible person, a horrible human being. He was a mad genius, but it probably would have been more difficult. We still would have won by fast, but it would have been not probably as fast as it has gone. In the report released last week, core inflation was down to the lowest level in 5 years, and very shortly we're going to be probably 8 or 9 years. Don't forget, we're having some fake inflation because of the fuel, the energy prices, which everybody said was going to $250. We were talking about that, Scott. They said $250, $300. I mean, today, what was it? It finished at $89 or $90, right? And that's in the, you know, we haven't settled yet. Maybe we won't, but I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. But think of that, how well we're doing, and we have this. A lot of people thought that inflation would be through the roof and the stock market would crash. Well, we just hit an all-time new stock market. So it's amazing. I had people, we have consultants, great guys that we both know, we see, and they're very talented. Sir, if you do this, fuel is going to go to $300 a barrel, right? One guy in particular who we like a lot. But I said, I don't think so. I think we're going to be good. We always find a way. You know, you got to find a way. But, sir, don't do it, sir. $300 a barrel. It's going to be a wild thing. It's going to be horrible. The depression is going to happen. Well, not going to happen because we just hit a brand new all-time high. Then fuel's at 89. It's actually a lot lower than that in a lot of areas. So, but let's not get away from, you know, let's see what happens over the next week or so. You know, I think you're going to be very impressed. And if you are, vote for the Republicans in the midterms, okay? But the king of Saudi Arabia, a very smart guy, invested $2 trillion. We have Qatar, we have UAE, Saudi Arabia. The king of Saudi Arabia, they invested trillions of dollars in our country. And he said to me a year and a half ago, I was with him, he said, you know, 2 years ago, you were a dead country. Everyone thought America was finished. We were a laughingstock with a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. He was so horrible. I mean, it's not even funny. It's like he was horrible. He allowed 25 million people into the country, totally unvetted and unchecked. And, you know, that's a tough, we're still getting them out. And we had 11,888 murderers, 50% of whom murdered more than one people. Let into our country. They emptied their jails into America. But the king said, you know, 2 years ago, you were a dead country, and now you're the hottest country anywhere in the world. Look at us. We're the hottest country in the world. So, pretty good, right? So, to talk more about these incredible things that are happening, I'm going to ask really a respected guy, a great guy, too. He's difficult, this guy. He's difficult, but he's great. And you know, when he speaks, the whole market gets soothed. When I speak, the market goes a little jittery. And they say, Scott, go out there, clean it up for me, Scott. But no, he's a fantastic guy. And Scott, you're going to say a few words. And then we're going to hear from a few of the people, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Officer, Cruz Littlefield, the co-founder and CEO of a local nonprofit called Power to Parent, Erin Phillips, a bartender and makeup artist, Erica Cassell, and a longtime culinary worker, Nicole Williams. And then we're going to hear from a few others. We're going to go pretty quickly. But Scott, you want to say a few words, please? Thank you.
Yes, sir, and thank you. And Mr. President, it's an honor of a lifetime to be part of this administration. And I thought that your supporters here would like a little behind the scene of your incredible first year. This administration has gotten more done in the first year, and let me tell you how that happens. I remember going to see the president February 2024 at Mar-a-Lago, candidate Trump, and he was talking about no tax on tips. He said he'd been out here, and he had the idea, no tax on tips. Service workers should keep their tips. Fast forward, July 2025, the working family tax cuts, the one big beautiful bill, gets passed by Congress, and here we are, April 2026, within 24 months, President Trump's idea, it became the law of the land, and we are seeing record tax returns, and the people of Nevada, the people of Clark County, are way higher than the national average because of no tax on tips.
Thank you.
President Trump's policies are reviving the American dream. Yesterday was tax day, and under President Trump, we are celebrating how much more money hardworking Americans will keep, not how much the government will take. Thanks to President Trump and congressional Republicans, the working family tax cuts helps every American chart their own path. Throughout this tax season, I have heard from American workers, families, diner and restaurant owners, bartenders, waiters and waitresses, and communities across the country, and it is clear that workers and families are feeling the benefits. The administration is upholding the foundational principle that hardworking Americans should be rewarded with the fruits of their labor, not punished by tax hikes. And this tax season proves it. In households across America, 53 million filers had taken advantage of at least one of the president's signature tax cuts: no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, enhanced tax relief for our great seniors, and the ability to deduct interest on new car loans if it's an American car. And this is the refunds and the tax cuts have exceeded our expectations. Here in Las Vegas, millions of hardworking Americans have benefited, and I want you all to remember, every single Democrat voted against this program. So more than 6 million filers, they have taken the advantage of no tax on tips, 25 million filers, no tax on overtime. And this is what happens when policies are made for workers and not for DC. And also, as the head of the IRS, I want to also tell all of you two things. Go to trumpaccounts.gov if you have not registered your children for Trump accounts. It's very easy to remember, trumpaccounts.gov, and fill out form number 4547. For those of you who have children born during President Trump's term, Treasury will seed that account with $1,000. For those of you with children under 18, you can add to those accounts. Great philanthropists like Michael, Susan, Dell are adding to that. And the other thing, too, is I want to remind everyone, change your withholding. If you're getting a big tax return, a big tax refund this year, it's because you didn't change your withholding last year. If you change your withholding now, you'll get an automatic raise in your real income. Your weekly, monthly income will go up right here, right now. And I just want to thank President Trump for championing this program, because I can tell you, some of the more traditional Republicans on economics didn't want this to be part of the program. President Trump fought for this the whole way, and this is why we have a new, bigger Republican Party. It's because of policies like this. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Before I introduce, I just want to say two things to me very important. So right now in this country, we have more people working than at any time in the history of our country. Think of that. And also, that's pretty good. And, while in Europe and a lot of other places, they're looking for oil, they're looking for gas, they want gasoline, they're having a hard time. We have a lot. So at this moment, right now, we have more oil production than Russia and Saudi Arabia by far. Russia and Saudi Arabia put together, if you add them up together, and by next year, it will be double that amount. So it's pretty amazing. Those two facts. More people working than ever before. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Officer Cruz Littlefield, please.
Mr. President, thank you so much and welcome to Las Vegas. My name is Cruz Littlefield. I'm a local police officer and a Las Vegas native. I have a deep appreciation for the city and have made it my calling to now protect and serve those who also call it home. With the passage of the great, big, beautiful bill, my wife and I have benefited from the elimination of taxes on overtime, allowing us to stretch every dollar in an increasingly expensive world. With less financial stress, I'm able to be a better and effective asset to my community and more present with my family. We also just welcomed our newborn baby girl a week ago, and have already contacted our CPA to make sure that the Trump account gets started and set up.
That's good. That's great.
Thanks to you, we're now securing her a better financial future than we were ever given as kids. Mr. President, thank you for your time. And thank you for your continued efforts to support the American people, especially here in Las Vegas. I have family and friends. This is my brother.
Oh, good.
But I have family and friends in Las Vegas who are barbers, small business owners, bartenders, and first responders. And every burden lifted for them is a step towards a stronger and safer community. So thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Cruz. Good job. Good job. The co-founder and CEO of a local nonprofit doing really well called Power to Parent, Erin Phillips.
I'm right here, actually. Hi. I'm Erin Phillips. It's an honor to be here as a mom and a founder of this nonprofit organization. We believe that empowered parents protect kids. And so everything we do flows out of that idea. And as a mom of 5, this is deeply personal to me. It's not just something that, I talk about regularly. We've seen so many families, especially in our community, that feel outmatched by systems. And so what we do is we try to empower them to advocate for themselves through policy and really just help with their children's education in general and any issue that is a parental rights issue. So that's what we do. And I just want to thank you for what you've done in regards to protecting women's sports. We know that, when we protect women's sports, we're really protecting the opportunities that our daughters have. And I have daughters myself, and so it's so important. And so many girls have already been hurt. So thank you for what you've done on that level. And then, it also helps them know that they're worth protecting and that they matter. And I think that's something that we haven't shown our girls prior to this. One more thing that I just really want to highlight is the federal tax credit scholarship. And I just need you to know that this is a game changer for families and who feel stuck. I think oftentimes we have these families that I already mentioned that they feel outmatched by systems and they are stuck in a system that is not working for their child. And so what this scholarship does is it expands education freedom, and it gives parents the power to choose the right education for their children. And families that we serve in our community, it means hope, it means access, it means a future for their children that they otherwise wouldn't be able to afford. And we are already preparing to help families access this money here in Nevada. So thank you for that. And lastly, I just want to say that I'm grateful for your leadership because you recognize the critical role that families play. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Jeb. Thank you very much. Bartender and makeup artist Erica Cassell.
Hi, President Trump. I'm a makeup artist and a bartender here in Las Vegas. I just wanted to say thank you for all you've done for us. I know as a bartender, the no tax on tips is amazing, especially, I'm going to start crying, guys. I expect you, Mom. It's great for my daughter as well. The Trump account's also amazing, so thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good. Well, you enjoy it, and good luck. Good job. Thank you, darling. And a longtime culinary worker, a great person, Nicole Williams. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole.
Hello, Mr. President. I am a longtime bartender on the Las Vegas Strip, and I first heard the idea of no tax on tips mentioned to me by my friend Alita, who helped manage your campaign in Nevada, and she's amazing. She mentioned it to me, and I started thinking about what an awesome idea it was, because in Nevada we have what is called a tip compliance. Not a lot of people know about that, where the IRS comes in and they say, you're going to make this amount of tips in an hour, and we're going to tax you on that. Even if you don't make that amount of tips, you're going to get taxed on it. So I thought that would be an incredible opportunity to keep some more cash in my pocket. So then she reached out, and I actually spoke at an event for you for No Tax on Tips. I spoke with you the day that Robert Kennedy endorsed you for president, which was an amazing experience. So thank you for that. And so I did campaign for you, and I was like, I want to see this policy come to fruition. So when I heard about the one big beautiful bill and that being included in it, it was just a reminder that it's promises made, promises kept for you. And so to see that come to fruition was amazing. And I do have 7 children, so the earned income tax credit for them is going to be helpful as well. Waiting on my husband, who's in real estate, to get his receipts together, so, but we will expect to see a greater tax return we can use for a car, or, for our son going to school, like a trade school. It's our oldest child. So we're very excited, and I just want to thank you so much for getting that done for the people and for my family.
Thank you. Good job. Thank you. And, just in wrapping up, a man who's been with me, I think every event I've done out here, is your lieutenant governor. Highly respect. He's really a good man. He's been to every event. Stavros Anthony. Stavros.
Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, first of all, welcome to the greatest city in the world, Las Vegas, and to the great state of Nevada. So one of my responsibilities as a lieutenant governor is the chairman of the Nevada Tourism Commission. So I work with a great group of individuals to promote tourism in Las Vegas and in the state of Nevada. And there's a lot of reasons why people come to Las Vegas and keep coming back to Las Vegas. And one of those is because we have the greatest hospitality employees in the world here in Las Vegas. Absolutely. And we all remember 2 years ago you had another one of your massive rallies here in Nevada. It was actually at Sunset Park, just south of here. And you made this no tax on tips pledge. And everybody heard it for the first time, and people were just excited. And as Nicole mentioned, it wasn't just a pledge, but you did it. So on behalf of all the hospitality workers here in Las Vegas and Nevada, thank you for putting more money in the pockets of our families. Just one other thing. I'm a former captain with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I know how much overtime these police officers work and how much overtime a lot of employees work. And for you to make that pledge and come through and no taxes on overtime, again, thank you very much for putting money in the pockets of our families. God bless you all.
Thank you, Senator. So I just want to say this is a special state. It's a special place. We've done so well here. I have so many friends here. It was great before I ran for politics, ran for office, and right up till this moment, and even this event, there's a lot of love. There's just such love. And, you know, those three things, but especially here, but really here it's all three. It's overtime, right? And it's, you take a look at the tips. The tips are, I don't even know which is the biggest. You could probably take a poll. And it's Social Security. No tax on Social Security. Who would think? And when I did it, it was a pretty big number. Could I ask you, which is the best of the three? No tax on, clap, no tax on Social Security. That's not bad. Okay, ready? No tax on tips. No tax on overtime. You know, I think Social Security won. Hey. So much for no tax on tips. I think Social Security won. Hey, I just want to thank you all. We love you all. The country is doing really well. We're respected all over the world. We are respected, I think like never before. Thank you. I think like never before. And thank you all very much. God bless you all. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Evers. Great job.
To feel down, I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy, young man. There's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your dough, you can stay there, and I'm sure you will find me.